All right, one of my absolute staples when it comes to hamstring development is going to be a glute ham raise. However, a lot of gyms don't have glute hams, but they do have like a TRX type suspension system. So it doesn't have to be an actual TRX, it can be anything like this that just suspends that I can drop my heels into. So I just call this the TRX Leg Curl. And the reason this is so important is that even in most gyms, you only really have two primary options to train your hamstring. Either you're gonna sit in a chair doing some kind of leg curl, you're gonna lie on your stomach doing that same leg curl, but again, even the lying down one, your butt's up in the air, which means that your hips are never in a fully extended position. And because the hamstring goes below the knee, which is where we get our curl, but it also attaches above the hip, which aids in hip extension. If you want to work the entire hamstring correctly, and especially for health, for knee health, for sprint speed, for anything athletic, then you have to train the hamstring at the same time with both joints. Otherwise, you're doing a leg curl for just the lower part of the hamstring, and then a lot of people will do like RDLs, which is more of a hip hinge, which is great for the upper part of the hamstring, but then doesn't get as much of the lower. So any kind of glute ham movement pattern, which the TRX leg curl I'm going to show you is that. And the other thing too is that when we get into some of your travel, if you're one of my business execs and you need something for a hotel gym or even carry your own type of thing, a TRX is very easy to travel with, and therefore you can get a lot of work done without having a full gym. So with that, let me show you the TRX leg curl. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab the straps with 2 fingers. I'm gonna lie back, and as I lie back, I'm gonna just drop my heels right into the straps. When I'm lying here, I wanna make sure that my feet are directly underneath where it's hanging. Now, there's a 2-part motion to this. The first part is gonna be the hip extension. So if I just press my heels down to lift my hips up, now I've got full hip extension. The second part is I'm gonna add the leg curl. Now, what I want you to notice is that the majority of people, because they've never trained this, the hamstrings are very weak, especially that upper hamstring, when I get the full contraction of both the hip extension and the leg curl. So this is what always happens. People lift their hips, they go to curl, and the hips collapse because they don't have this hip extension, which is that part there. Now, a full correct repetition, again, is gonna look like this. Hip extension, leg curl, and back down. Notice there's no collapse at the hip joint. I wanna see a straight line from the knee to my shoulder as I do my curl. That is a full TRX leg curl. However, if you're one of my people that can't do the full TRX leg curl correctly because, again, there's weakness that hasn't been trained yet, this is what's gonna happen and what I'm gonna have you do to fix it. So number one, we start the same. Hips are up. Let's say I start the curl, but oh, there go the hips. Instead of letting my feet go out, I'm gonna keep holding the curl, press down, and give me a second lift, then go straight. So it's almost a 2-part. 1, 2, straighten. 1, 2, and straighten. This will be a way that you can develop that strength, and each time you curl, do a little bit better to keep those hips up until we can do full TRX leg curls. And then the first goal is, can you rip out 10 perfect ones without the hips ever dropping? So once I curl, I go leg straight, but my butt doesn't touch the ground after each time. But this is the TRX leg curl, one of my favorite variations for hamstring health, which will then give you knee health. It will also help you with your running and sprinting ability. And then again, total hamstring developer. That is the TRX leg curl.